Is that one of the first things you see right after the Welcome to Davenport sign? Is 360 trucks.
Right now on News 8 at 10, a Davenport company looks to make use of an old dump site, but why city leaders say it could ruin their riverfront vision. And a plan to bring new leadership to Illinois fails. What it means for Senate leaders trying to reach a compromise on the budget.
Live from WQAD, News 8 at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Denise Hanitka. Thank you for joining us tonight. Jim has this evening off. New at 10 tonight, one person was hurt after a possible explosion destroyed a home in Kewanee. That's according to the Star-Courier newspaper. A News 8 viewer sent us these pictures of the scene. The fire started at the home in the 800 block of May Street. There was reportedly someone inside at the time. They were taken to the hospital. At least one other home was also damaged. A Davenport company is trying to repurpose several acres along the riverfront. Nestle Purina wants to build a parking lot on the old dump site near its plant in Davenport on West River Drive. It would sit next to Veterans Memorial Park. But some city leaders worry what this could mean for the future of riverfront development. News 8's Jessica Dedita joins us in the studio to explain the next step.
Nestle Purina wants to build the lot to fit 360 of its trucks. The company says it also hopes the lot will reduce traffic off of Rockingham Road, where the Nestle Purina plant is. But some people say the truck lot doesn't fit with the riverfront vision.
Governance discussion with Mr. Warner.
To build a park or a parking lot.
Our long-range plan, after many public hearings, is to develop the Davenport Riverfront as park. And we have probably the best riverfront on the upper Mississippi River.
That's the question the city of Davenport and the Levee Improvement Commission is facing after Nestle Purina asked to use 19 acres of land to park 360 of its trucks.
Is that one of the first things you see right after the Welcome to Davenport sign? Is 360 trucks.
The company wants to lease the old Davenport dump site from the city for 50 years and build the lot.
So there's no cost to the city, but for the lease, they would then start paying the city an amount for the lease.
That amount would only be $1 a year. In return for the low rate, the company says it will make aesthetic improvements to the lot so trucks can't be seen from the riverfront. If the city backs out of the 50-year agreement early, it would have to pay a fee. That didn't sit well with some members.
It basically was one-sided. It was in favor of Nestle Purina.
We've got a long-time, 100-year company who wants to continue commitment and investment here in Davenport. At the same time, we have a group of people that want to protect the long-time interest of the riverfront. And I think it's a matter of finding a balance.
Now, both parties will head back to the drawing board and try to find a common ground.
I can see where you can build parts of Veterans Memorial Park, and Nestle Purina can contribute towards that, and we can get an agreement when they can park some trucks there.
The site is unusable right now because it's an old dump, so the only options are to build a park or a parking lot. The city's goal is to work with the company on a compromise between building the parking lot while still having room for a park. Denise?
Thank you, Jessica. And if both parties reach a compromise, the plan then goes to the City Council for review. Well, we're seeing an end to those freezing rain and fog advisories, but the cold, that will stick around, of course. Chief Meteorologist James Zahara watching those temps for us in the first check of the forecast. Hi, James.
Hey, Denise. Yes, we're going to be back to some of that cold as we make our way through the rest of the work week. But as far as tonight is concerned, things are looking pretty dry out there. Everything's looking pretty quiet. Still a little concerned about some of the highways, byways way up north, right along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Could still see some icy roadways out there as we go through most of the night, but nothing falling from the sky. Of course, we had some dense fog in areas, especially just south and east of the Quad Cities, but as these temperatures have been cooling throughout the evening hours, we've been mixing up the air, and that has allowed visibility to improve very nicely. Currently in the Quad Cities, 30 degrees after a warm daytime high of 46 degrees. There's that north breeze at 10 miles an hour, and that's going to continue to pour down some more of that cold air. More importantly, it's going to keep those temperatures below freezing, and a little stretch of that to continue. Tell you for how long coming up in just a few minutes. Denise?
Thank you, James. Well, today, Illinois' historic budget crisis was handed off from one set of lawmakers to another. The 100th General Assembly was sworn into office in Springfield. Two new faces are representing our area. Democrat Mike Halpin from Rock Island is replacing Pat Verschoor, who retired. And Republican Tony McCombie of Savannah beat out Representative Mike Smitty. Both say they're hopeful that this new group can bring on the change.
I'd like to say that I'm hopeful and not naive. I am very hopeful, and I think I really do believe that the 100th Assembly is going to be a different animal and that we are going to get this passed.
Challenging time for the state, but I'm excited to be here and actually take what the constituents have told me over the past year as I go door to door, take that, try to get some legislation passed that's going to help people in our area.
The biggest issue facing the new legislature, as always, is the budget. Illinois has gone without one since July 2015. A push to bring some new leadership to Illinois failed today. Michael Madigan was voted as Speaker of the House for the 17th time. Today, he made no mention of the compromise that Senate leaders are working on, forcing some to ask what is next. News 8's Jenna Morton has been in Springfield all day with the latest on the budget battle.
Mike Madigan received 66 votes, while Jim Durkin received 51. Some were hoping a change in leadership could have meant a change for Illinois.
We like Mike! We like Mike! Why? Why?
Outside, two different messages could be heard.
Getting Madigan out of that extremely powerful post he's held for so many years is the first step to reforming our state.
Mike Madigan has been a great supporter of working people. He has supported not only unions, but all working people in the state of Illinois.
There's been a push to urge lawmakers to vote Mike Madigan out of the Speaker's seat, a position he's held for 30 years. Some calling it a change Illinois needs.
I don't think it's healthy for any position to be held for that long. I really don't. Whether he's doing a good job or a bad job, it's irrelevant. He's been doing it for too long.
Jim Durkin as Speaker.
And inside the message carried on, lawmakers came up one by one to give their input on who should be Speaker, Mike Madigan or Republican leader Jim Durkin. In the end, there were not enough votes to dethrone Madigan.
To the best of my ability.
He was sworn in for his 17th term as Speaker.
As we move forward, let us work to end the acrimony.
Now some can only hope a new year will mean new attitudes. Lawmakers calling out Speaker Madigan.
I'm asking you, Mr. Speaker, to stop the gotcha votes, the purely political votes that do nothing to resolve the state's debt.
Republican leaders and the governor to come together and put the arguing aside.
That we have to do better than what we have been doing the past 2 years.
Over the past few days, legislative leaders said that they were able to find some common ground on budget negotiations, but they've decided that they're going to leave it up to this new General Assembly to finish the job. So whether or not this new session will be able to end the budget stalemate, we're going to have to wait and see. Reporting in Springfield, Illinois, Jenna Morton, WQAD News 8.
Speaker Madigan has signaled he is not on board with the compromise as is. The city of Galesburg is testing a new way to keep cigarette butts off the streets. Today, the Galesburg Downtown Council approved a pilot recycling program. It includes adding cigarette butt containers to light poles. It's based off a program out of New Orleans. The Downtown Council president says containers should be ordered by next week, and they hope to have the program up and running before next month. Budget problems could force the Rock Island-Milan School District to cut $1 million. The school board says a 5-year financial projection shows the district could be more than $4 million in the hole by the 2021-22 school year. Administrators are now working to find ways to cut spending before the year begins. The new 1% sales tax is not included in the budget because the money's earmarked for building construction and renovations. The Galesburg School District also looking at $2 million in cuts in the upcoming year. Board members are considering cutting 10 teacher and librarian positions. The district is also facing several $1 million worth of mandated repairs to buildings. Because of declining enrollment and overcapacity, the board is considering combining grade levels differently and even closing some schools. Coming up here on News 8 at 10, Fighting Back, how Donald Trump's first news conference since the election turned into a shouting match. And a dog gets stranded on a 50-foot cliff. How this pup managed to get herself down the mountain, coming up.
You're watching WQAD News 8 at 10 with Jim Mertens and Denise Anitka.